stonk insights. This is not financial advice. In this video, we're going to be talking about Bitfarms, ticker symbol BITF. We're going to be giving a company overview, just looking at this Bitcoin miner and just seeing, the good ins, the outs, the good, the bad, the ugly of the company. I do want to take note right off the back and say that this is a completely different look than Core Scientific, which we talked about in my previous video regarding the Bitcoin miner. So, this will be, I guess, taking a look at a more healthier company with a more healthier balance sheet. And you look at their forward statements and their state press releases that they release out, it's all positive. So it will be completely different than it was for Core Scientific. So you actually take a look at a more healthy company, and so you can compare and contrast. So if you're interested in that, stick along for the whole video. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that I bring some type of value to you, even though this is not financial advice. And if I do, hit that subscribe button, as it does help me out. It does help out the channel. So let's get right into the video. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to start by taking an overlook at just all the Bitcoin miners, or the ones that I track at least. These don't represent 100% of all Bitcoin miners, but these are the ones that I track. If you see something on here that you think, or you don't see something on here and you think I should be adding it, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll take a look at the company and see if I should be adding it onto this list. If we just take a brief overview, we can kind of see that it's just been a red day today. We see some notables like TeraWolf here down 10%. They were actually up 16% yesterday, which was unbelievable because it was a sea of red yesterday. So for them to be up 16%, which is astronomical, was unbelievable. If you know why they were up so much, because I couldn't see any press releases and their balance sheet does not look the healthiest. If you know why they were up so much, leave that in the comments down below. I'll be interested to see why they were up. But overall, you see Stronghold Digital up 3%, which is, an outlier. But for the most part, you see some of the big boys are up 4%, 7%, a whole percentage, for the day. So it is another red day. The NASDAQ is down. S&P 500 is down. Just a bad day overall. Okay, so here we're just going to be taking a look at some notables for Core Scientific. So first of all, they got around 44,000 miners. So there's a bunch of miners clocking in at 4.4 exahash that's online right now. They have 10 farms that's in 4 countries. Just to take a look at some of their stock info, you see the price of Bitfarms right now is at 49 cents. They're down just slightly. This is as of today. You see that the stock volume is about a million, 1 million there. See the range of you see that the range goes in between 49 to 52 cents, with the 52-week range having a huge disparity, down all the way down to 50 cents, even lower today, and up as most of $6.66. You see they have a current market cap of 108 million. And then just to take a look at their farms here, you see that they have 10 farms, 7 of which are located in Canada, which is where they're located at. They have 1 in Washington here stateside, so that's why they report to the SEC, 1 in Paraguay, and 1 in Argentina. Okay, so this is just a press release from Bitfarms. This is regarding their November production and mining operations. But before I get into this, I do want to say when I was looking to this company, I did notice that every single month they put out one of these production and mining operation updates. And they always do it on the first of each month. So I would like to say that, that is very upstanding of them. This just shows pride that they have behind their company, that they believe in their company, that they are so upfront and giving up so much information so often. So I do like that a lot with Bitfarms. So just breaking down the skinny of this, we see there was 453 Bitcoin mined in November, which expects to exceed 5,000 Bitcoin mined in 2022. You see the month-end capacity of 182 megawatts, up 72% from November of last year. So just some other things here. They averaged about 15.1 Bitcoin in the full month of November, which is a little bit down, being that, you know, there is there's one less day in November, so that does, you know, play a part. We scroll down here, we look at some of their key performance indicators from October to November. You see they had mined 486 Bitcoin in October, down to 453 Bitcoin in November. You see their average Bitcoin exahashes went down slightly as well. And you see this little footnote down below, as they discussed previously, their Argentina's macroeconomic environment is causing delays in the importation of most goods, which is adversely affecting their ability to bring in the additional miners they need to operate the first warehouse at its full capacity of 50 megawatts. These delays may impact the company's 5 exahash goal for the year end of 2022. So you see, it's not all, you know, good things. You know, they do have some bad things, but they are upfront with bringing that to you. So we see here they're having some issues with Argentina, what's going on over there, and it's causing some delays with the supply chain of them bringing in miners into Argentina. All right, and just to take a look at their financial update here, you can see that they paid down 6.7 million in BTC backed facilities during November, bringing the outstanding principal to 16.5 million. They paid down 3.2 million in equipment related to indebtedness. Now this is a big point because this shows that they are actively paying off their debt, which is a huge deal. As we've seen conversely, and I hate bringing them up so often, but Core Scientific, they had just gone into default with some of their debt that they have in their balance sheet, which is not a good look. But we see with Bitfarms, they're actively paying off their debt, which is a good look. It's showing that they have a healthy company with healthy profits, enough so that they can pay off their debts. All right, and then when talking about their debts, we're gonna bring up their balance sheet here. So this has been, it's not audited yet, so still unaudited as of right now, but I believe they will have it audited by December 31st of this year. So far we see, you know, they went down on cash on hand. They had 125 million as of December of last year. This year they have 35 million, but we see the current assets is at 102 million, and as described in my last video, we described current assets as assets either, or not either, but a combined cash on hand plus any assets that they can convert to cash within a 12-month time frame. So it is both the cash and the assets that they convert into cash within a 12-month time frame. So far so good. Let's just scroll down to liabilities, and then we see here for current liabilities that sits at $82 million. So this is a stark difference than what we've seen from Core Scientific, where they were upside down to the tune of 1 to 6. We see here at least Bitfarms is a little bit above 1 to 1. I would like to see that, you know, a little bit better. It's not zero, you know, debt, it's not zero liability, so obviously they do have some room for improvement. But as we did see before, they are actively paying down their debts, so that's always a good look to see. Now I didn't mention it with the Core Scientific video, but it wasn't looking good. But the shareholders equity here with Bitfarms, it has went up, you know, from last year. So it went from 378 million up to 423 million. So that is, you know, a healthy look. You want to see the shareholders equity go up over time and not go down. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is a bit of FUD surrounding Bitfarms, which they did address right away, but I did want to go over it. I think it is something that should be mentioned. So this is from Quebec, their newsroom. This was put out in November 3rd, 2022. So before I get into this, one thing that I do want to mention about Bitfarms that separates them from their other competitors is they do a lot of mining using hydroelectricity. With this, they do stave off some of those costs with the rising cost of electricity. I don't have the numbers right in front of me right now, but it does cost Bitfarms less now than it did previously to mine Bitcoin. I believe right now it's costing them $9,400. That's down from $9,000 and $9,000. So they're saving $500 now than they did previously, which is a good thing. You want to see that cost come down, which makes them more profitable. But getting into this article here, we're going to scroll down to the request to suspend the allocation of electricity to the blockchain industry. So lastly, in light of significant increase in the anticipated demand for electricity and the tightening energy and capacity balances, Hydro-Quebec filed a request with the Rage de l'Energie regarding suspension of the allocation process to the blockchain industry. Under this process, approximately 270 megawatts were slated to be dedicated to cryptographic use over the short term, but the allocation of that amount of capacity to this use would increase pressure on current balances. So obviously when this got put out, this called a whirlwind FUD. You know, obviously people were jumping out of Bitfarms because they've seen this, and they've seen this as the Bitfarms operation coming to a halt because of what Hydro-Quebec just put out. But if we transition over here to the Bitfarms with the response to the erroneous article advising that current hydroelectric energy agreements remain in place, current and future production continues. So this was put out the next day after that article. Bitfarms jumped right on it. They knew that this could be potential problem for them, so they jumped right on it and they put out this article in response. So Bitfarms, a publicly traded, self-mining, vertically integrated Bitcoin mining company, advises power agreements with Hydro-Quebec remain in place and expects that its current and future Bitcoin production will continue for the foreseeable future without disruption. Bitfarms notes that an erroneous information was disseminated in a November 3rd, 2022 article titled "Canadian Energy Provider Hydro-Quebec proposes stopping electricity supply to blockchain industry," resulting in misinformation spreading quickly through media networks and on social media. The article mischaracterized Hydro-Quebec's recent submitted 10-year supply plan and stating that the plan advocated the termination of electricity to existing mining operations. Bitfarms has invested over 350 million Canadian in Quebec since its inception and currently employs over 100 employees. The company continues to look to expand its operations in Quebec and add more jobs across the region. As such, Bitfarms believes it is necessary to respond to the article's false implications. So as you see there in that article, Bitfarms jumped right on it. You know, like I said, they attacked the FUD head on. They did not let it just fester out there. The very next day they jumped on it and pretty much just stated that the terms that they have are locked in. They're agreed upon with Hydrofarm or Hydro-Quebec, you know, when supplying hydroelectricity, and they're saying that, you know, what they're stating in the article doesn't affect them, that they have an agreement with them that's going to continue on for the foreseeable future with no interruptions. So that's the video for you guys. What do you guys think? Are you interested in Bitfarms? Have you looked into the company? Have you invested into the company? Whatever your thoughts, leave them in the comments down below. I'll be interested in hear, you know, how many people are investing in Bitfarms, the good, the bad, the ugly from your perspective. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you in the next one.